Flight deck operations 100 miles out in the Atlantic Ocean. What goes up must come down.
Incredible thing to do. The last couple of seconds are just serious concentration trying to put it right where it's supposed to be. When your teeth come together and your fillings come out, that's when you know you hit.
You've just landed on the flight deck of the aircraft carrier Theodore Roosevelt, one of the most dangerous and most dramatic places in the world. A place where life on the edge is ordinary, where peace and quiet is the exception. A place where Mickey Dean of Traverse City goes to work every day.
I tend to get charged. I tend to put the blinders up, don't see a whole lot else for 5 or 10 minutes prior to walking to the airplane.
When he does climb in, it doesn't take long to be slingshotted into the air. Just 300 feet and 3.2 seconds. An incredible, gut-wrenching, eye-popping experience pulled off by an army of sailors.
It's probably a safe bet to say that on the flight deck right now, in order to make this whole evolution work, we probably have between 1 and 200 people out there.
The man orchestrating this ballet of man and machines is Lieutenant Alan Dunstan. He conducts without the use of high-tech equipment or speedy computers. Every move is synchronized on a Ouija board.
It is an accurate reflection of what the flight deck looks like at any one particular time.
It's a sheet of glass with toy jets and painted nuts. From this, they know which plane is ready, which needs fuel, which is down for maintenance.
At one time they tried to do a computerized version of it, but they found that there were so many variables that it was hard to track and actually didn't work.
None of it would work without the crew. They speak in a language all their own, not in words, but in signals.
Sometimes it looks like mass confusion. You see people in different colored jerseys and different people running all over the place, but it's kind of like orchestrated confusion.
Confusion made clear with those different colored jerseys.
We're just waiting around until they call an alert.
Donald Duchateau of Ypsilanti is a green shirt. His job, clear the jet for takeoff.
That means that we have to get up there and get the plane off the deck within 15 minutes. We got 15 minutes to get everything ready and get the plane off.
Precision and speed is what they're working on. In a combat situation with the pressure on, the crew of the Theodore Roosevelt can put a jet in the air every 20 seconds. They can land them just as fast.
The daytime ones turn into just, kind of a good time. It's just a pretty good ride. You can see everything. You're not as freaked out.
Nighttime is another story. You'll notice you don't see much until the last second. Neither does the pilot. Sometimes they hit right, sometimes they don't.
If the wire's going to catch you, great. You run out to the end of the wire at full power. If it doesn't, you're expecting to go flying again, so you're off the deck in about a second.
That's how it works out here. The world is broken down into blinks of an eye. No room, no time, no patience for air. Because to them, the defense of America and the free world is at stake.
The ship is about 1,094 foot long, 244 feet high, comprising 17 decks.
The numbers boggle the mind.
We are a city that's large enough to provide all the needs and working environment for 5,500 people.
The USS Theodore Roosevelt is a city, an airport, and a ship, all rolled into one. It's truly logic-defying. 95,000 tons carving through the ocean at more than 30 miles per hour.
It's a pretty awesome place to be.
Awesome in size, awesome in firepower. The flight deck alone covers 4.5 acres. These mammoth chains hold an anchor that weighs 30 tons. That's like 15 pickup trucks.
When you think of just a link of chain being over 300 pounds in weight, that's incredible.
If you're still having trouble understanding how big the carrier is, consider this. I'm about 6 feet tall, so compare my size to one of these jets. Then remember, the Theodore Roosevelt can carry more than 70 of these. But with size comes staggering challenges, like feeding everyone on board. Food is spooned out around the clock.
It's not bad. Considering they cook, 18,000 of them a day?
And there are other mind benders, like not getting lost. The Roosevelt is 17 stories tall, a maze of endless walkways and doors leading somewhere.
It took about a couple weeks just to get your way around to where you need to go.
Then there are the living quarters, called the berthing area.
This is all the room that we have for our worldly possessions. Not a lot. You got to make use of what you can.
In here, the numbers get dramatically smaller.
This is one of our cubicles where we live. We got like 6 people live in an area about 3 foot wide and about 6 foot deep.
The bathroom space is just as limited and primitive. 160 guys, 4 showers.
A lot of people's houses are larger than this, and it gets really cramped.
But thankfully, for sanity's sake, there are also ways to escape on board. There's a gym, the TV rooms, the card games. There's even a ship mall, a store loaded with junk food, books, CDs, VCRs. Money isn't a problem either. ATMs are armed and ready.
Short of a bowling alley, there's about anything else you can do on the ship.
There's also a job to do, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. An important job being carried out by young people showing poise beyond their years, showing incredible strength while defending a nation.
We entrust them with more responsibility, I'll guarantee, than any 20-year-old that you'll see in the country. If it weren't for them, this wouldn't happen.
This is home. This is what I'm going to call home for the next 4.5 months.
Dawn on the Atlantic Ocean, 100 miles off the North Carolina coast.
It's like watching the air show every day.
Muskegon's Robert Shackelford stands on top of the world, atop the USS Theodore Roosevelt, one of the most intimidating ships in the world. Robert helps remind everyone on the Roosevelt that they're part of the world's most powerful armed force.
I've been stationed on the carrier for about 1.5 years now.
12 hours a day, 7 days a week, you'll find him here studying the ocean beneath.
We're the expert lookouts for the ship. Basically, we are the eyes for the ship.
But below the air deck, down these miles of corridors, you'll find a whole other world, a floating city of more than 5,000 men and women. Look at it this way. You could fit the entire population of many West Michigan cities right here on board. One of those cities would be Montague. That's where Ron Carlson grew up. His job, make sure his company's 8 aircraft are maintained and ready to fly.
Real pressure is especially when the airplanes start going down. The big guys start asking more questions and it filters on down.
It's why you'll find the 160 men under his command tweaking those jets around the clock.
It's still a lot of fun. The great part about it is there is no 2 days that are the same.
Mickey Dean knows that more than anyone. When the Traverse City native isn't holding briefings, he's sitting in the cockpit of an F-18.
Nobody was telling me this when you're 17 or 18 years old, that, hey, you can go do this.
But after getting an aerospace engineering degree from the U of M, here he is. No more cherry shakers on his dad's farm. Instead, it's no-fly zones over Bosnia.
My room was plastered with American flags and pictures of F-18s and aircraft carriers, and said, go for it.
I got a couple letters from my girlfriend.
No matter how exciting the job can be, there's one thing they all crave: home. Jack Zekieris of suburban Detroit spent a year at Kalamazoo Valley Community College before trading in his books for a bunk.
It's not that comfortable. You get used to it. Yeah, you do. You adjust to it and you adapt to it.
Adjusting to a bunk is one thing. Life away from loved ones is quite another.
The sight of mail, someone from home writing you, thinking about you, just makes you feel really good. Makes you feel that someone's thinking about you back home.
It's important even when you stand on top of the world with a breathtaking view of the water below. What's the hardest part about being out here?
Being away from home, being away from your family, you know, friends.